Yeah. All right. So
Like, I think there's going to be a buff soon.
here we go. We're going live, and let me grab the link. I always say I'm going to edit this out, but I never do.
No. Like, once we go live, that's where it's at. We don't really care. This isn't too important.
This is the stuff that's going to. One of these days, we're going to say something that's going to, like, get us, like, canceled or something.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Here we go.
yeah, go ahead and post it in. Let me see.
All right. Give me that link.
Post it in podcast topics because I can't type in podcast.
Got it.
You also might not be able to use at everyone.
Oh, I should be able to. Yeah, I can do it.
Once you post it, I'll give it like 15 seconds and I'll start.
There we go. And let me hop back here. And yep.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my fellow barbarians. For all of you who are on the live stream, I currently can't see it, but I know some of you guys are quickly always to get on there. So today is just me and MDA for this one. We don't really have a lot to talk about. So I mean, there's some important stuff to talk about, but there's not a whole lot. So yes, we better go ahead and get into the guild stats from Let's Go. Sorry. Joking on a pistachio over here. So we'll start with I'll start with begins. They did 23 stars in Lightside Hoth, 33 Rolo, 2 territorial wins, 1 was a full clear. And from their last territory battle for Hoth, they got they increased 23 shards and got 7 more stars, which is pretty freaking impressive, guys. That's pretty good. And then Age had 7 light side geo stars and 2 cam. Nice to see you guys getting into cam. It's pretty fun, I would say, for those of you who can actually do it. And they went 2-0. I think both of them were full clears, but wasn't 100% sure on that. And then for returns, it was 12 light side geo, 13 cam. It was a 1-star increase, 2 shard increase. Should have been a 2-star increase, but one of our questions kind of talks about that, so we'll get into that later. Yeah, you know about that.
Good lord. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I was really enjoying this this TB, and then like phase 3 just like I got wrecked. Like we all just got wrecked.
Yeah, that was not pretty fun. We'll do Stonk of the Week, and then we'll go into the questions. Not a whole lot, I think, because we really wanted to keep the Stonks to like really big upgrades. And so we have Seppi unlocked JMK. Bones got a 7-star Mal. P-Dub got SCE, very good. Amethyst N, 5-star Mal. Nightshade with gas. Midget Spinner with an R8 gas. Bones with an R8 gas. I got a R8 GK, finally. King of Losing got an R8 Slicker. And then there was a couple more R8s in returns, but I didn't keep up with them. So if you got them, then you can castrate me, I guess. And then
actually, real quick, I've got a stonk here just because I know we all noticed it in the game chat. But we'll probably get to them in the new member. But it was Rockness. That's I don't know his Discord.
Yeah, he joined today.
He literally this man joined in and then just drops us with all the Zeta upgrades for Sith Eternal Emperor, and we're just like, all right.
And then I think he brought him to like gear 12 or something like that. We were all like, oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah, this guy's just like, we should just, make it the Rockness of the week, not the Stonk of the week. It's the Rockness of the week.
Yeah. And then two other upgrades I thought was pretty cool was Amethyst Zen again and Midget Spinner. Both relicked Malik, which is pretty good. You want to go ahead and do the questions now, or do you want to start talking about the
Yeah,
the
let's
recent update.
let's 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 do some questions here. We got everyone here. They asked a bunch of questions, so let's pull
Yeah,
them up. Um, I'll start with the first question here. Midget Spinner put out: do you think it is better to go for the Executor or a GL for someone who already has one? Um, I would say, with regards to the Executor, I think, and I think we'll get more into this when we're going to go over the kit because, for those of you who do not know, the event did drop today, so everyone is unlocking
it
their
also ends
ships.
today.
It also ends today. Yes, it's a 1 day event. The super whales out there got it to 7 stars, while most people either got it to 4 or 5 stars. Um, and it's definitely on offense, it's beating everything, but on defense, it's a little sus. But I would say probably go for a GL just because CG really hyped up this ship to be like the meta fleet, and so far it has not been. And with the amount of R8s that are required in high relics, I would say go for a GL. You're going to get much better bang for your buck. But again, this is the first day of it, but that is just my knee jerk reaction. We'll get more into it later. But what do you got, Rock?
I agree. Without getting too much into it either, I think maybe we might see some buffs or a rework for a couple of bounty hunter ships coming up soon because it just seems a little underwhelming. But I would definitely go for a GL. Now, if you have all three, or if you have all five, my bad, and you're about to get Lord Vader as well, then I mean, why not go for it? But I think if your whole choice is Executor or GL, I think at the moment GL, especially for the two new ones, I'd much rather put two R8s on like for to get JMK than the other one. Next question from Cracks. Exactly how bad can one player screw up a TV for their guild?
Hmm.
Well, there's a lot of ways. I guess first would be if a zone says don't get a star somewhere, that probably means you shouldn't get a star there.
Wait, okay, did I miss it? So, were we did we I know we weren't supposed to get a star in the phase. Did we get a star at this TV? Is that what happened here? Is the joke just going
That's
over my
what
head?
basically that's what the joke is.
Okay.
So usually we don't get a star. Phase three, zone two middle. We don't get a star there in phase three because we two star it in phase four.
Right.
But someone at like 2 hours before the phase ended, they just went and dropped all their GP and just got a star there.
So,
And so it
I'm gonna be
just
honest, guys. I would rather you preload in TW than do that.
yeah, especially since we had changed, like we had just recently discovered, or I guess rediscovered that you can put like colors on different things. And Lorian was so excited to start putting green everywhere, and he put it in bold green. Do not get a star, and we still got a star. Another way
So,
you can screw up TB is not platooning your stuff.
yeah, no, like the times when it takes like, a whole day just to get platoons done, and all of a sudden you lose time to, do combat missions and stuff. Um, I understand that, we're all in different time zones and stuff, and it's hard to platoon, but it's one of those things that like, hey, if you got asked to platoon something, then just do everyone a
Yeah,
solid and platoon it.
don't waste around. And then Midget Spinner commented on Crax's thing. He was like, on the topic of this, what is preloading? And Gino wanted to know what preloading was, so I'll basically explain it. It's where like in TV, there's a thing that people refer to called like a split, and so the split is basically the amount of GP it takes to go from that first star to that second star. Just that little small gap. Like you just get the first star, and then like I think on bottom the split is like 34 mil, while on the middle in light side geo the split's like 50 mil. Someone will have to check my numbers on that, but I know the bottom is less. So it's much better to preload the bottom in like phase one, and so that way in phase two you can easily get 2 stars. And so it's really just a way to keep you doing the easier combat missions for a longer time than like what we did. We were in like phase three combat missions, and people with GLs were getting like one
Yeah,
wave done.
this was like, I mean, we're all using, the meta teams of like, I know I can only do pretty much two of the, I can do the Jedi mission and then the light side missions. I have like a full relic to like at least R5 and above, Jedi Knight Luke team, and just like turn one, everyone died, and
Yeah,
CLS just like Han got to shoot first, and then like everyone died. Um, I saw Glurmit put out like Ray just got wrecked. Like all like GLs just got wrecked. You really got to have the speeds and the mods down, or else it just you're not gonna have a good time.
exactly. And then we got a bunch of questions, and some of these are just a little random, and but we'll go through all of them. We don't have a lot to talk about. So we got Relius. He had three questions in like a little group, and so I'll just say all three, and then we'll just kind of answer them one by one. What do you think is the most underrated and most overrated team? And likewise for teams, like it can be a specific M Trooper or a faction as a whole, like Empire. His next question was, what tune do you want to be added the most? And if the requirement for them to be added was for Jar Jar or something random like that, would you grind for R7 for him? How would you feel about if they add after the SSD has had its run? Which I don't know what the SSD is. I read it a couple of times trying to figure out what that was. They added the A wing, which that'd be kind of cool. Make him a decent rebel fighter, but has a large cooldown that goes off, kind of kamikazes the opposing capital ship. And
Yeah.
that was just three questions. So I think I'll go first for the overrated, underrated. Uh, that's a little tough. Or like an overrated faction, I would say like underrated faction, Ewoks. I think me and you both could say Ewoks
Yeah.
most underrated faction.
Ewoks are an underrated faction. It's one of those that like if you know what you're doing,
Oh,
um, if you know what you're doing with Ewoks, the other team doesn't take a turn.
oh yeah, for sure. And then like the most overrated faction, I would say. I don't know. Personally for me, it's even with all the newer tunes they've got, it's probably First Order. I just don't. I know they're a good faction. They get you a GL. A lot of people are gonna give me hate for that one, but like the team non-GL wise just gets countered by so much stuff. Same with bounty hunters. I feel like bounty hunters are just a little overrated. But
I can't really think of specific tunes. I think I'll just stick with teams like you did. For
yeah,
me, the most underrated teams. I liked your Ewoks pick, but I'll do a different one. Um, that's tough. Um, okay. I'm not going to say that these are meta, but I think in terms of, I think Phoenix is better than what people give them credit because they're a team that can get 60 banners because they have protection recovery as well as they have it's hard to they're a team that it's hard to bring them down. So it's something to where like if you need something to counter Night Sisters in GAC or in TW, like Phoenix, like they can take down a Night Sister wall or like something like that. So a lot of people write them off because they don't gear them because they've got just really garbage gear to put on, and especially in the early game. But they're a team with a lot of synergy, and especially they've got ships and stuff. I don't know. I like Phoenix a lot. I like them more than most, but that's who I would say. And for me, overrated. I just think Galactic Republic as a whole. Um, I'm gonna keep Gas 501st separate because I just think they're their own team. But like Padme's good, but like I would argue
the rest of
most
the faction is
the
just
rest of the
terrible.
faction's just terrible. Like, and
Yeah,
even like
I would agree.
because like even if you like minus JMK because JMK is Galactic Legends. Like even when Cam came in, he couldn't make like Yoda lead relevant or like you couldn't really
Qui-Gon Jinn
run
lead.
yeah like you couldn't run a full Galactic Republic Jedi lineup really,
Yeah,
and like it's one of those, like, Padme's cool, but like a lot of things beat Padme now, and um, great. I would say like meta mid game team, and I think definitely it's an important team to have, but like I just think that Galactic Rebellion as a overall as a faction is overrated.
I would agree. One underrated team that I want to point out is Cassian. I think Cassian is really underrated,
Yeah,
just as
he's an
utility
underrated
wise.
tune. Yeah.
But all right, the next question, like, what tune do you want to be added? Honestly, for me, it's got to be Hondo. I think Hondo's got to be the
Dang, you're taking
what
all
I'm
my
really looking
stuff.
forward to.
You're taking
Yeah.
you're taking all my characters. I was thinking Honda the whole time.
Oh, you know what?
Um,
I take back. I really don't want to see Hondo. I'd much rather see like a another clone or something like that. That'd be cool. Like give us a Gregor or like a clone commando squad or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I liked Hondo a lot. Just as like I think as a scoundrel lead, that would be really
Hmm.
cool. Um, I'll do a different one here for a tune that I really want to see added. Um, that's tough. I would like to see um, Iden from Battlefront or Cal Kestis from Fallen
Yeah,
Order. I think both of those would be really cool. And I think Iden would be really cool if they gave her both Rebel and Imperial synergy. I think that would be really, really cool.
I'd agree. His next question is the A wing, bringing the A wing to the game. I think it'd be cool, but the thing is, like the Rebel fleet, like already is really good. You don't need to buff it anymore. They
It's
already
just it's
have.
honestly like you've got the starting lineup's great. Biggs, Biston, Hans Falcon. You got Phantom, Cassian, and like honestly, with most Rebel fights, you never go past those. Like those are really
No,
all you need.
you basically bring in two. You pretty much bring in four ships and that's it. And then like they still have the Y wing, but like they're a faction kind of like the Galactic Republic, where like they have a lot of ships and there's almost like a lot of utility with them. And so you can always use like different ships for different counters, which I like. But I would like to see it, but it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't really see it because they already have too many ships there.
I'd rather see a new capital ship or like filling out
Yeah,
other fleets. Um,
I would like to see like the Resistance and First Order get a couple more
you know what?
ships.
I would
Then
see like a Resistance A wing. I would be down for that, just
yeah,
because.
I'd be down for that too.
Yeah. Um, I'll take the next question here. Is it worth it for the guild for a player to put full R5 on smaller teams for Crankcore if it means that the player will take longer to obtain a big legendary or GL? Not sure I understand your question here, but I'm going to interpret it as, is it best to get a lot of R5 teams for Crankcore, for the sake of so that you have more at bats, or do you want to go all in for a GL? Is that sounds
Yeah, that sound. I think that's kind of what he's meaning.
okay? So I'll let you take a stab at that. What do you think about that?
So like the one thing that I've been doing for like Crankcore research is like what I'm finding out is like most of the GLs don't use like the requirements that you need for them. Like if you run like Resistance Ray, it doesn't work really well. You have to run the clones with it. If you want to run SEE, you got to run like Vader and uh Sith Trooper, like the red guy. You got to run Watt with it. For Supreme Leader Kylo, you have to run like the Night Sisters with them. It's like even if you get the GL, it's not going to do a lot of damage unless you get the right team. And so you can almost like that's what I'm looking for. You can almost kind of like do more damage if you get three really good teams than just one GL. But I will say try to like pick some teams that like have dual purposes. Like if you want to go for Jedi Master Kenobi, go ahead and start working on Shakti clones. Go ahead and start working on like Padme because both of those kind of get you some of the requirements done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think try to get as much overlap as possible. Um,
Yeah.
I would say if you're going to go for multiple teams, I would say do like have a phase one team, have a phase
Hmm.
two team, and a phase four team, so that you can do it. Because like I'm in the boat right now where like I've got like one maybe two teams, and like it's pretty much they're both just like phase phase two teams, and that's what they are.
Hmm.
And so then as soon as phase two is done, then like I got nothing left. Um,
Yeah.
so try to get as much overlap, get the GL while using your teams that can be used in Crank Course. So
Hmm.
um, hopefully that's how your question was. It was meaning to go,
Yeah.
but otherwise, take it for what it's worth. Um,
Yeah. Oh, this next one's pretty good. I always hate trying to pronounce these people's names so much. Tell that to however you want to say that.
Conja Club.
Uh, Conja Club. All right, cool. Conja Club. Where do you think the next era of Galaxy of Heroes would be after Lord Vader? If they want to keep adding GLs, which seems like the plan, they will need to. They will need more tunes to avoid overlap. What area will you see? What area? What era will we see next? Do you think? Um, Honestly, like they already said they're gonna stop doing prequel stuff. So I don't see any more prequel stuff. I don't see where they can put in any of the sequels, episode 7 through 9. So the next little era, like I mean, honestly, it looks like they're trying to set up for like I don't know. Some people keep on throwing around that they're gonna do more on like the original trilogy. But like even then, like they've already you can't really do a GL for that era because we've already got them basically in the game, and
Ye-
so
Yeah, I think they're gonna add for every major faction. I think every major faction's gonna have a GL. Um,
mm,
I think what they're gonna do is, I think they're done with the sequels just because I just don't know unless they add more, unless Disney makes more sequel content. I just don't see what content is left to be added. Um, Prequels is, I mean, we just got a bunch of prequel content. Um, I think that's basically they're just gonna keep following whatever Disney puts out. So like we just got Bad Batch, so like we've got full Bad Batch team. I think the next GL is gonna be like a Scoundrel GL, and I think it's either gonna be depending on how season three of Mandalorian goes. I could see a Mando GL, or like with Book of Boba Fett, I could see like a Boba Fett GL. Um, Something like that. I think every major faction will have a GL. And also, like they said, they're not trying, they want the power creep to stop at GLs. And that's also why they made the changes that they did to the characters, so that GLs are going to be the tip of the spear. Um, so I could see that. I would say, in terms of eras, I would like to see them go back to. Um, I would like to see them go back to KOTOR one more time. I want to
yeah,
see the I want to see Mitra Surik, I want to see her added. For those who don't know, she's the main character in KOTOR 2. I'd like to see. I'd be fine with just her. You could also add some of the characters that were there. I'm not sure about SWOTOR stuff. SWOTOR is not as beloved as KOTOR is, but I'd like to see them go back to that. Honestly, but just I'd say continue following the shows. You got the Ahsoka show, the Kenobi show. Add some different marquee characters from those, and just see where it goes.
yeah. Honestly, I think what's up next is probably going to be like maybe like a Rebel and Empire GL, and like for Rebels, it's kind of hard to do because like Luke would be your. They already have a Jedi Knight
See,
Luke,
I think Lord Vader is going to be an Empire GL
really. Because see,
because
like the thing about Lord Vader is like he's kind of in the middle, and like some people are thinking he's going to be unaligned Force user.
see no, because that's when the Empire was started there. Though I think he's going
True.
to have the Sith tag, but it's going to be similar to how Kenobi has the Jedi tag. I think it's going to be like it's there, but I think it's going to be
Mhm.
um, Empire, and I'm seeing it in the chat here. I think Relius, you were talking about Inquisitors coming. I think that'd be really cool to have Inquisitors with Lord Vader. Um, but I think that's going to be. But then again, that's we'll see. The kid hasn't dropped yet, so we'll see it when it happens. But I agree with you. I think I could see a GL Leia,
I
because
was kind of thinking like a Geo Akbar, even though we already have him in the game. Give us
okay,
like another Akbar, or like give us like another like fleet commander, like a pilot, or like a uh
Pilot Luke.
shoot, give us Pilot Luke. Yeah, that'd be cool as a GL, I guess. Or like give us another Han or something like that. I don't know. There's a couple of things they could do with the rebels, I guess, because they need a kind of overlying kind of like big leader to kind of pull the faction together. So, all right, that's enough of that. We got a lot more questions to go through. We haven't even got to the main stuff yet. All right, Relius again. How do you feel if they added a mode like Grand Territorial War where like two guilds team up to fight two other guilds? Honestly, it'd be fun, but like it'd also be like super annoying because it's kind of hard. Like even in like 50 people in a guild going to like territory war, there's a lot of like coordination that goes on, even with like officers behind the scenes, like figuring out where you want to put GLs, figuring out what zones you want to put. And it'd be super annoying because one guild be like, "Oh, well, we love doing this strategy," and another guild's like, "Well, no, we love doing this strategy." And so then you would just have two guilds coming together, just kind of arguing with each other on what they want to do, and then guild members would just be. I can just see it just being kind of a disaster almost. But yes, it'd be pretty fun, especially if you like for like alliances, that'd be fun. But like for like if it just paired you up with another random guild, it would suck.
I think,
Honestly.
and this has been brought up before, and CG already said that they're not going to do it, but I think everyone would want this. I would rather them make like not private matches, but like grand arena between you and your allies or inside a guild. Maybe not even
Yeah,
grand
that'd be cool.
arena, or just like let you battle your friends. And that would
Yeah,
also allow for testing. Um, I think if you could battle your friends, and if you could do like, or your allies, that would be really cool. But CG already said that they weren't going to do it because it's too expensive and Papa cry.
yeah. Uh, Kaji Club. He's just kind of asking if we ever get to the point where we need another guild, we'll just call it Bear for begins, eternal age, and returns. I have to disagree because we already have a bunch of names. Whenever we were naming Eternal, we did like a little vote on like names, and so I think we have like a little archive channel of like names. Yeah,
We
we
had some
got
good we had some good ones. I
yeah, we
liked.
had some good ones. Like I'll kind of release some of them that we wanted to go for, like Barbarism Reborn, Barbarism Unleashed, Dawn of Barbarism,
Those are
Wisdom of
those.
Barbarism.
Yeah.
My favorite was Not Your Mother's Barbarism. That one was from Cracks. I think that one was a good one. Call the Barbarism. Like we have a bunch of really good ones. Uh, Resurgence of Barbarism. Like there was a bunch of good ones, and we just like the little Barbarism name. But I think it's gonna be a really long time before we think about another guild. A really long time.
Uh,
Uh,
I got this one here, Relius. Something on a similar note, if they add the ability to make a legion instead of a guild that lets you go to 200, would you combine the guilds, or would you let them stay more specialized to different levels of the game and simply grow them up to 200? Um, I don't think it could ever grow to 200. With this just being a mobile game, I think it's just not going to happen. But I don't know. I kind of like 50 because 50 is still a lot of people. But I guess if it were to go to 200, I kind of like keeping it separate to the different levels and just letting, you know, all the I think you want to keep the GP level even amongst all the players, because I know that like if we have begins and returns, we'd be wanting to do content that they just couldn't play, and
yeah.
it'd be great for the rewards, but at the same time, like at the end of the day, you're trying to play the content and not play the content later. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, but my thing was this: instead of doing the 200, 100 would be kind of like a good middle ground. But even then, like sometimes it's kind of hard to coordinate with like 50 people, especially with like time zones and stuff like that. I don't know. 100 would seem crazy in territory war. Imagine having 100 people. That would
Yeah.
just be that would be complete madness. Fun, but I don't know. Next question from say it again. I can't pronounce his name.
Conja Club.
Anja Club. Uh, Additionally, when do you think we maybe form another guild? Oh, I kind of already answered that. It's gonna be a long time
Yeah,
before we do that one.
we've got four, and um, I think it's going to be a little bit of time before we do that.
Yeah. Relius again. So many mod sets provided by Bo's bots appear to be a bit outdated. Thoughts on having a consultant specifically for mod sets, or is that just the normal consultant slash whoever uses that team? I would say um, if you want to look at a specific like Boba's bot's a little. I would say Boba's bot's better than Swogbot because Swogbot was made like at the very beginning of the game, and then Boba's bot's a little bit newer. But there's still a lot of outdated stuff on Boba's bot. If you want to know a decent mod set, if you ever pull up Boba's bot and you're like, is this really the mod set I should be using? Just ping consultant and somebody will tell you. And then
Yeah,
his next question is,
we used to have the
oh yeah,
specific consultant tags, but it I think
it was too much to keep up with.
it was too much to keep up with, and it was better just to there's someone who's going to be in Discord who knows, and just ping them and they'll let you know.
Yeah. Next question again. Is there anyone in the guild you would feel would thrive as a hut in the hut cartel? Honestly, man, I think best person would be either Bones or Cracks. Your best would feel they would thrive in a hut cartel.
I
Mainly
could see
because
it.
Bones is just quiet. He's quiet. You never hear him, and then out of nowhere, just bam, he shows up. He's just like in the shadows. And then Cracks because he's just ruthless, man.
Next one here, tell that to Kanji Club. What outdated tune, besides Mace, would you rework if you could make them gas slash Vader goods? Not that they would ever do it, of course, but just in theory. I don't know if I'd go Vader or gas good because I think I like them where they're at. But I think just to in terms of like above average to like I would say to like to a B plus level. To me, it's Cad Bane. Um, Cad Bane's just like not that good. Like he's just okay. And I think I would actually probably rather use every other bounty hunter besides Cad Bane.
Yeah, to a point. I do like
Like
he synergizes pretty decent with Django though because every time he does a basic, he applies accuracy down,
the accuracy
which
down, yeah.
doesn't do much, but Django thrives off of debuffs, and so like that's the only real thing that I like Cad Bane for. That and his stun is pretty nice, but
But
I would
like it's
like to
just
see him get like another unique if he does. Does
another
he have the unique?
unique. He's got a unique, but like give him a Zeta or like give him another ability. It's
Yeah,
just he's just such a cool character, and for like where he's at,
he's got a ship.
yeah, he's got a ship for what he was lore wise. He should be a lot better, and it's one of the I'd say it's on the timeline of playing Galaxy of Heroes. First thing you realize is that Mace is terrible. That's what you realize first, but like it's realizing that Cad Bane isn't good, and it makes you kind of sad inside because like this is the kind of game where like you'd want to play with Cad Bane. So that's who I
Yeah.
would pick.
Honestly, for me, I would love for them to just add a unique or just add a Zeta where he has a bunch of anti Jedi like synergy, where basically he just does extra damage to Jedi or something like every time he attacks a Jedi, they get stunned or dazed or something like that. Like something like that would be pretty cool, I think. But I think an outdated tune for me, probably like not a tune, but a faction, if I can say that. It's gonna probably be Jawas. I would love to see Jawas get like a little rework where like give Chief Nevitt a better lead and give him a Zeta. Just kind of do like what they did with the Geos and just kind of
Yeah.
like revitalize the faction a little bit because they work pretty good together if you use them. They're like I was chatting with a friend the other day and he was talking about putting them on defense as a backline team because like they're very weird on defense because like you don't want to use anything good to kill it, but all the things in its like tier aren't good to kill it. Like you can't really use Phoenix against it. You can't really use imp troopers against it. Not like the new troopers with Piet, but like the troopers without Piet. Can't use Ewoks. Like the teams that you typically use against them just don't work. And so basically you kind of either have to bring in something a little more serious to take it out, or just pray that you can beat it with one of your lower teams. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my 2 cents.
Um,
Uh,
I think this is a similar. I think let's wrap up here with Relius' last question. It's
yeah,
another one. It's similar to this. Which character, if any, do you believe needs a rework to fit their in-lore strength better, or instead of a rework, just having a better, worse version added? Personally, I think Royal Guard. Um, so I think, um, in terms of lore strength, um,
probably Kit Fisto.
I'm not gonna lie, Kid Fisto's ass. Kid Fisto's
Yeah, he's
ass.
terrible.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna give a couple here. One of them selfish, and the other one is, what I believe. I think we need a better Leia. Leia's
Yeah.
just Princess Leia just needs a better leadership. You know what? If they give her the Rebel Fighter tag, I think that's enough. I think she could be really good. Um, and Slaymire, do we? Oh, you posted your question. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll come back to
Well,
we'll finish on
yeah, I
Slay's
thought that
question.
was
Okay. Sorry, we missed it because I was going off of Rock's thing there. Okay. Um, I think we need a better lay. And Rolo's just like so anti-Empire that she can't really be used anywhere else. That's her sole purpose is
exactly.
countering Empire. And the problem is you just don't see Empire on defense. But
Mm,
for my selfish pick, um, I really want to farm the solo team, like the prepared team, but like they're just not good. And I don't think they deserve to be made better, but I don't know. I just kind of wish they were. Um, just because I like the solo movie and like I don't know, they seemed like it was a cool idea, but they're just not good.
mm. I think for me, they kind of fit the lore in terms is mostly just like the Jedi. Like I would like to see a better Kit Fisto or like a better Luminara or like a better Plo Koon because like most of those were like Jedi on the council that were really good, and now they're just like filler Jedi that some people don't even unlock them. Uh, Another one that I would kind of like would be like Savage. Like I would like to see a better Savage because like, if you watch the Clone Wars, he was just like all brute strength and he was something serious. And in game, he's nothing at all. He has a Zeta, but that's I mean the only thing he's good for is counter Night Sisters, which that counter's not even that good. So uh to get Slaymeyer's question back again, sorry, I thought you posted this one. I thought we got to this one from the last podcast. So I apologize. Would you recommend going for Slicker or the closest GL on your roster? This is assuming that a roster is closer to another GL that's not Slicker.
Um,
Um,
you can go first here.
for me, I mean, it depends on what you want. Like, if you want to solo Sith raid and you want to do decent damage in Crankcore, then Slicker's probably the best thing to do for that. But I don't know. I think there's better GLs. I'm not saying better GLs. Like all the GLs have their purpose. And I have a friend with Supreme Leader, and it doesn't do a very good job at countering Jedi Master Kenobi, and so he just hates it for that because his shard is full of Jedi Master Kenobis and he can't climb. I mean, he's good for GOTB, which I think both of the Dark Side GLs are good. Uh, but it also depends on like how close are we talking about? Are we talking about like a month difference or like a week difference? Because like I'll wait an extra 2 weeks to get the GL that I want compared to the one that people will say is better.
Yeah, I think for me, I would go for whatever GL you're closest to, just because they've made it to where all GLs are good and they're all like
Mm-hmm.
GLs are GLs. And like Supreme Leader Kylo, depends on who you ask. He might be the best GL, and depending on also who you ask, he might be the worst. So, um, it's kind of just one of those things that like I think it depends. If you really want Supreme Leader Kylo, then like go for it. Like that's there's he's one of the top 5 characters in the game right now. But I personally would say you've structured your roster, to your liking up to this point. I would say probably go to the GL that you're closest to.
Yeah. One more thing I'll say on this is think about how your roster's focused. If you're really dark side focused, then is another dark side team worth it, or would you much rather go for like a light side GL? That could be something that you can think about. But that's it. You want to start talking into the
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of recap what happens these kind of past 2 weeks here with we knew about, we talked last week about the different nerfs and stuff. But basically, we're going to go over the Lord Vader requirements, um, and then we're going to talk about the Executor and the new Galactic Challenge this week, because this is the first week that had the ships Galactic Challenge, and also the effect that the Executor had. I think there's a lot of reaction to this. So, but first, just get out of the way. For those of you who do not know, we have almost all of the requirements for Lord Vader. The first batch of requirements is, I'm pulling it up in the app here, R5 Hunter, Tech, Wrecker, Tusken Raider, and Relic 8 Padme. They announced this week that Relic 5 Embo, Relic 7 Echo with the 501st, Relic 5 Bad Batch Echo, Relic 8 Count Dooku, and Relic 7 Zam Wessel is going to be needed. And on top of that, we do know that gas is going to require to be Relic 8. So 3 Relic 8 so far. What is your opinion here um, on the second batch of requirements?
I'm very mixed because like they really in terms of like all the GLs, all the GLs have a lot of tunes that just like are completely useless. But so far, it seems like you get 3 useless tunes to use so far. Like Tusken Raider's useless. Embo is a lot of people that are bounty hunters
I wouldn't say
are.
Embo's useless. I'd say Embo's pretty solid.
I would say, yeah, I wouldn't say Zam's useless. It's just he's not the like recommended like what people.
Well, I would say R7ing her is just
Oh yeah,
rough.
that's what I'm saying. Like R7, and is Embo R7 or is he
No,
R5?
he's R5, which honestly,
Yeah, that's
R
not bad.
R5's not that bad. Like, um, R6 is when it
The
starts to hurt.
Dooku, I didn't mind the Dooku relic. It's just an R8 Dooku kind of sucks because you have 3 R8s to do in this batch:
Yeah,
Padme, Gas, and Dooku.
and considering
Like
that
that just
like
kind
gas is an obvious R8, it's one of those like you're gonna R8 gas regardless. Padme's one of those that kind of sucks because supports can kind of be capped at like really what. Honestly, you just need to get him to gear 13, and I'd say probably Relic 5 just so you can use him in Crankor. And then after that, there's no real reason to take them past it just because what they're gaining isn't really going to do anything. Um, and Dooku's just a weird one because, you know what, I'm sure his damage gets really good at R8, but he's more of a speed-based character and landing
of, yeah,
debuffs than he is a damage dealer. But then again, I only have an R3 Dooku. I'm sure for the people who have high relic Dookus, they can say otherwise. But it's
yeah,
just even like Dooku's more. He's with the Separatists, and the Separatists are just an okay team. And like you don't run Dooku with Sith just because he doesn't synergize with them. So or he doesn't synergize that well. But honestly, I think this could have been worse. I'm going for Lord
yeah.
Vader after Jedi Master Luke, and to me, like you're gonna get basically the 4 Bad Batch characters that matter at R5, which like Bad Batch is a great team, and especially because it looks like they're gonna be, they might even be better than Shaak Ti clones for the Cam mission. Um,
That's kind of debatable at the moment, but
but even still, that's a Cam mission team.
oh yeah,
Um, And everything else is, I mean, Echo 501st, Relic 7. Most people were doing that anyways for Cam. Yeah, Zam sucks, but they have a few gotcha characters. Like Zam and Tusken Raider are just kind of whatever. But I mean, you have to.
Also, with Tusken Raider, I was hearing somebody that was kind of interesting about it. Is I think Tusken Raider is like one of the tunes that has like the highest base damage in the game, like physical offense in the game. And there was a guy that was running Supreme Leader Kylo with the Tusken Raiders because I think Kylo has something where like he buffs your offense mastery.
Mhm.
I think if I'm not, I don't run Kylo or anything, so I don't know. I'm just trying to remember if I did. And so he would run it on defense on 3v3. He would just run Supreme Leader Kylo, Tusken Raider, and then the one that taunts. I don't remember which one that is. And he said he would get a lot of holds on it because people would come in thinking that it's going to be an easy win. And then after a couple turns, Tusken Raiders one-shotting people
Yeah.
on it.
Um, I think it's one of the things people are upset because for some people this is a character that everyone wants, but also this is end game content. These are things that this is the most newest
Mm-hmm.
thing, and they're not going to make this R3 and R5 with the occasional R7. I think they are going to change how R8 is going to come into the game. I think it's going to be more not easily accessible, but I think it's going to be easier to get. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just me. So let's jump
My
into the.
my one gripe was with this was Kenobi got two R8s, but Lord Vader gets three R8s. And usually when they do them in pairs, they usually try to keep the requirements very similar in terms of like relic levels. And this one so far isn't very even on the relic levels, which is kind of upsetting.
Right. I will say this for anyone who's. There's a lot of debates. I don't think Cam is going to be required, and the Executor is not going to be required. There is.
Hmm.
I will be shocked if the Executor is required. If they are going to have Cam be required, they will probably release packs or they'll put them out into shipments, and they'll do that. But I think it's going to be. Um, I think Malevolence is going to be the ship, and especially because the data mine was found for the Malevolence ship, I think it's going to be Malevolence, and I don't know, like Kid Fisto or something. um, Anyways, let's jump into ships here. So this is the first week of ship galactic challenges. I have a rebel fleet in arena, so I was able to beat this relatively easily. It wasn't too bad. I know. Was it buggy for you? Because it was buggy for me. Like, um,
And too buggy.
okay, there was some weird animations and stuff, but I thought it was fine. I think the more that they incorporate ships is good. Um,
Yeah, my one gripe was I wish it was more like half and half, but this one was more like 1/4 of it was tunes, and then the other 3/4 was ships. I wish it was they just capped it.
yeah, but if they get half it and maybe do this every other week, or if this is how they just do galactic challenges, I'm I'm fine with this.
Yeah. My one concern is like each galactic challenge has like a theme where they do like a specific faction, and there's not a whole lot of factions for ships. If you really think about it, there's just five different factions you can use. You got Rebels, you got Galactic Republic, Empire, Resistance, and First Order.
Yeah,
So, I mean, my one thing is if they have to keep it ships and tunes, then we're just going to be getting the same five rotated every time, and it can get kind of stale.
yeah. Maybe they do it once a month. Maybe they do it,
Oh yeah, if they did it once a month, that'd be nice.
solid. All right. Well, we are going to jump into the kit for the Executor, and then we're going to talk about how we feel about the Executor because now there is gameplay um, live. So, for those who do not know, in order to just unlock the event for the Executor, you needed an R7 Vader, R8 Piet, R8 Boba, R5 Dengar, IG-88 Bosk, and then for the ships, you just needed um, all of the bounty hunter ships at 4 star, except for the Razor Crest, which is 5. And then TIE fighter, or actually, I'm sorry, TIE fighter pilot was needed at R5, and then Vader ship and TIE bomber were needed at 4 stars. Um, I mean, right off the bat, that's two R8s right there, which is pretty steep. R5 for the
Yeah.
bounty hunters isn't bad, but like that's steep. Like especially Piet and mm,
Piet isn't the worst because he's the captain, and so you're gonna R8 him at some point. So it's better to get it out the way now than later. The R8 Boba supposedly isn't too bad. I heard some people that have the R8 Boba say that he hits really hard, and it's not too bad. But his ship also got reworked, which is also nice as well. That's that's kind of something that came with the Executor.
yep. So Boba got a rework, which is nice. His ship's a little bit better. I'm not going to read word for word. I've got the kit open here. I'm going to go through it here. Basically, we have a capital ship. This is now the bounty hunter capital ship. Um, You've got Expose on the basic, and it's going to do more damage with bounty hunters. First special, you have a mass assist, which will again synergize better with bounty hunters. You're going to be doing positive damage, as opposed to negative, less damage with Empire. Second special, you can dispel, outmaneuver, and stealth, which basically this is meant to counter rebels and to counter um, anything with really stealth. I would say I can think of Geos, rebels. I think the main thing was countering rebels just to make it thematic, but also I think for negotiator as well. For whenever you drop unending loyalty, you go into stealth. You're able to now counter
Mm-hmm.
that. You've got protection recovery and all that, which is great. And then the super cool ultimate ability is you get to bring out the Death Star and destroy the capital ship, and it's got a super long cooldown, but um, it'll be brought out by inflicting breach, which if you have the Razor Crest, it is very easy to inflict breach. With regards to unique, it's going to be buffing the um, max health, protection, offense, and it allows you to ignore taunts on crewless or droid ships. So basically, the Y-wings and Malevolence just you don't even need a tank out there because they can ignore it. There's some Empire stuff in here, but you're not running Empire with this ship. Um, but and then also a bit of backstory to go with this. There was an interview with Cubs fan Han and CG, and then CG was answering some questions on Discord. They said, and they were hyping this ship up to be, it was going to be the top ship in the game. Um, they said that this should beat Negotiator, it should beat Malevolence, it's going to beat all of them, and the only way that you're going to be able to beat this ship at 7 stars was a mirror match.
They
So
basically said this is going to be the new meta. Get used to it.
yeah,
And so far, that doesn't seem to be the case because
everything
rebel
can beat
ships are
it.
beating it, and malevolences are beating it as well on defense. So it doesn't stay climb. It doesn't stay around it very long. Like I have one in my fleet just chilling. I have one lone 7-star one. One whale went and got it, and he started when I looked at like 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. He was at third place, and now he's chilling at like 11th. So people have been beating him all day.
So what's your reaction here? Just to the let's just do the kit right now. What's your reaction to the kit?
I mean, I like it. Bounty hunters finally actually get a use in the game instead of just being kind of plug and play characters. So it's nice to have them as a whole. But my one thing is, this kind of gives me a Radis or Finalizer kind of vibe where they just threw the ship together. They gave us a couple of ships to go with it, and they said, "All right, here, make it work." And I just think we're missing like one or two ships, maybe just even one ship that we're missing to just kind of bring it all together and finish out the fleet.
Now, I do
So
believe they did say, I believe it was on the forums, there is another bounty hunter ship coming. I
Yeah.
believe there's another one. Some people have rumored it's going to be Dengar's ship, especially because Dengar is required. Um,
Yeah.
some people have also thought we might get a different bounty hunter, one that was especially there during episode 5, but I think it's going to be Dengar's ship. I think Dengar's going to get a ship, and I think that's going to be what makes it um, really kind of
Yeah.
move.
Good. Because as much as I would hate to have to go up against these, it's time for a good meta switch in fleets. We've we've been chilling with Negotiator and Malevolence for like 2 years now. It's time for a little bit of a change.
I'm fine with a meta switch um, as this becoming the best ship, but I don't want something to where the only way that you can beat it is with a mirror match.
I
Um,
agree.
just because ultimately I don't think you're really gaining anything because basically it was just malevolence and negotiator, and if you had one of them you could beat the other and vice versa, and it got pretty stale. I think I'm okay with this being able to be beat on defense, just the AI is not that good, but I like this being just the top. You can throw it on auto and beat everything. I'm fine with this being that.
Yeah. I
Um, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything else to say about it. I just the requirements are kind of steep is one thing, but I mean, hopefully with Dengar coming, if there is a new bounty hunter ship, the ship will actually live up to its name. Because right now, people with like 7-star, uh, what's it? Hang on, I literally executors are getting beat by Rebel and Malevolence fleets, and so a lot of people are a little upset that you got a 7-star fleet supposed to be the new meta, and it's getting beaten by the the original meta. I
Yeah,
guess that would like Rebels were probably like the original ship meta.
I don't
So
know. My opinion is I'm actually fine with the requirements because I actually on a side note, we didn't talk about the UI changes. I actually really like how they changed the journey guide.
oh yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
like how it's organized, and I think it's putting the executor in the right spot. It's not a GL ship, but I think it's this. It's an end game kind of content. It's a character that it's going to
Hmm.
take some investment, and also what this does is it rewards you for going and investing in a faction, with this faction being bounty hunters. Bounty hunters have always been a good faction. Like I would say they're in the upper tier, like or the upper half of teams, but they're not meta. And so what this does is, let's just say you're a fan of bounty hunters. You went, you got your Chewbacca, and you're doing well. You've got all your different characters. What this does is this allows you to now, let's say you put R5 on all your bounty hunters. You now have something for that to where you can be dominant in Fleet Arena and you can beat everything there. So you're not punished for not, investing in Galactic Republic or investing in Rebels or anything like that. So, um, which is good because I think ultimately what they're trying to get to is there's going to be a lot of lanes that you can go to, but whichever one you pick has a benefit.
Yeah. I think I'd agree. Do we
So I don't
do we
think
have
we
a
have
little
any.
time to
I don't think we have
Oh,
any
you go,
YouTube
I'm sorry.
questions here. I was looking here to see. I don't think we have any YouTube questions. We've had a lot of people in the chat. Specific. Well, Relius has been in the chat, um, but I don't think we have any questions here. So
That's fun.
really, it's been a while.
Mhm.
I gotta know who you're grinding. Who's on the
Oh
farm
man.
right now.
So on my little account I've been on still JMK. I think most recently, because I missed the last pod, I'm trying to think what I've gotten up. I got Kenobi the R8. I got GG the R7. I got Shakti the R7 recently. I have R6 Django, so he's kind of close. I should have him R7 sometime soon. And then the next couple of them will. My next relic's probably going to be Relic 5. Boba, and then I'll relic 7 Watt just for Crankor. I won't be able to run the Vader team anytime soon, but I'll throw him with like my GG and Newt to try to get a little bit extra damage. And then on my main, I'm still slowly trying to get Jedi Master Luke. That's a pain. What's holding me back is Mothma and Chupio. So that's always fun. So what have you been up to?
Well, the Jedi Master Luke grind has been real. I just got Rey Jedi training to R7. Um, I'm 12 out of 16, so I'm almost there. Uh, Mothma is like 5 stars, 4 or 5 stars. Actually, I think she's 4 stars and like halfway to 5 stars. So she's gotta finish the farm there. 3PO and Chewie is like 2 out of 6 with gear 12 pieces. Um, R2 is 1 gear 12 piece away from gear 13, and then Wedge is like gear 8. Um,
Yeah, so not
so
much longer now.
no, because like 3PO and Chewie just got to go to R5. That won't be too bad. Um, and whatchamacallit, Mothma won't be too bad to R5. I'm just waiting till I'm farming her. Wedge, I'm honestly probably gonna save R2's relics for last. I have the Zinbindle crystals. I have all those ready, but I think I want to stockpile on um the blue signal data before I,
Oh yeah,
really do R7, just because R7 and R6 just hurt. Like taking Rey, because I don't have a good resistance team. Like taking Rey to R7 was just terrible.
yeah.
Like it's
But
rough, but um, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited. Jedi Master Luke is um, El Mundo de Kiara. I see you in the chat here. JML is the hardest GL to get. I would agree. Jedi Master Luke is tough. He requires a lot of other side characters, and the relics are high, but I think he's going to be worth it. And then after that, I am going to go for Lord Vader. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm going to get gas first, and then I'm going to go for Lord Vader. Well, actually, I guess I need gas for Lord Vader. So there we go. But I'm going to go for Lord Vader after that. So I'm going to be GL farming for a while, but um, yeah, that's what I've been up to.
all right. Uh, real quick, you want to talk about this Omega bot real quick, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't you? You are kind of more the expert here with this.
Yeah.
Talk to the people here about the Omega
Uh,
bot.
so for those of you who like doing your DSR PRs, where you just rate your mods, it's a little outdated if you really think about it, because all it does is it takes your mods that are over 15 speed, and then it just assigns them like one singular value, and then that's it. That's all you get for that. Well, these guys over that are making this bot, this is still very beta testing. Like they're still, you can't even send it to a server yet, and they're kind of mixing up a little bit. They're having new ways to kind of like rate your mods, so you can like I think one of the things they're trying to do is rate it to where like each speed increment gets its own value in weight, so that way you can get a better idea of like how good your mods are. Because like a 14 speed mod doesn't hold any weight for like the DSR bot, but 14 speed is still very good. So that's just kind of what it is. It also will, for those of you who like GAC and are very competitive in it, it's a good way to like rate your opponent's top 80, because they also have a top 80 quality where they take your top 80 tunes and see what the mods look like. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want the link to their Discord to kind of run a PR, I guess is what they're calling it. Just give me a DM or give me a ping. I'll send it to you. But I think that's it for that because it's still very new. I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. We messed around with it before we hopped on the pod, and it's definitely like I'm gonna be keeping my eye on it for once it's ready to go. Um, but yeah, this was a good pod. It's good to have you back on the pod.
Oh yeah,
As much as we loved having Mano and oh god, I forgot
Pedo.
it. Yeah, Shapiro, you were there with us last time. As much as I love having
Mhm.
you guys there, it's nice having our fearless barbarian here rock back. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys stopping by for the pods, and thank you for all the questions. And we will see you guys on the next pod.